Hey everyone, this is Mike with Living Wild. Today I wanted to do a quick product review on an RCBS Chargemaster Supreme for reloading. I recently purchased this. I was in the market for a powder loader or electronic powder loader. I didn't really know what to get. I'm not a pro reloader by any means. There's a lot of machines out there that are really good and stuff like that, but this was budget friendly for what I wanted to do and in my price range. So I want to quickly show you how accurate it is and some of its features and why it's been a good choice for me, and I think you'll like it, so stay tuned. Okay, for this test we're going to be using H1000, which is a cylindrical powder. It's an extruded powder and one of the harder powders to throw for a trickle charger. It falls sometimes several at a time. And not individually. So on a trickle charge, some machines have difficulty doing that. This machine has a program feature where it can learn the powder that you are using and how it can best optimize reading it, I guess. I'm not going to go into how to set up the machine or the functions of it or anything like that. You can look online or you can do it, figure it out. The main thing I want to do is just show how accurate this machine is. So to compare the electronic machine, we're going to use an RCBS 505 manual scale and again Hodgin H1000 powder. And to show you how small a granule is, this is one kernel, actually two kernels of H1000 powder, one sitting in a spoon and one just sitting on my notepad, to give you an idea of how small they are. To show the accuracy of this manual scale, I zeroed it out and I'm going to place one kernel of H1000 in the pan, and you can see that it will move above the line. The kernel's in and you can see that it went up a slight amount, but enough to be noticeable. So now comparing that with the electronic scale, let's do some comparison tests. For today's test, let's throw some 58 grain charges for my 6.5 PRC, and there's no breeze in here, so I'm not going to be using the windshield. You can use that if there's a little bit of breeze. I find it easier to not use it. Let's get this thing warmed up. Okay, flashes learn. That means that it's already learned the H1000 powder. I pre-programmed it for that. You can see it trickling in now. This is where powder like H1000 has a hard time, or the machine has a hard time, because it's long and kind of like a cylinder instead of like round. Round powders are easier. This says that it was exactly through a 58 charge. Sometimes it'll show like 58.1, 58.2 if too many kernels fall in. When that happens, all I do is I take the charge out of the pan and I dump it back in there and let it throw another one again. But if the machine shows 58, we'll compare it on this and see where it's at. Okay, here was the first charge that we just threw. Compared to the manual scale, you can see that the lines pretty much line up. Now what I'm going to do is just throw 20 charges in a row and see how accurate they are. Like I said, the machine sometimes will tell you if some extra powder slipped into the measuring pan, like I said, just because of the shape of it. But if it does happen, say it throws a 58.1, 58.2 charge or something like that, all I do is take that pan and dump it right back into the loader again or into the hopper, and it automatically throws a new charge. So I'm only going to be comparing charges when the machine itself says that it was a 58 grain charge that it threw, and we're going to check the consistency. Okay, so let me kind of read you the data I got. So out of 20 charges I threw, the second charge, you can see that the machine actually threw a 58.1, which I returned to the hopper. And then the second time it threw, it was 58. And that one actually ended up weighing 1 kernel over 58. So if you go down, you can kind of see it. But for the most part, it's super consistent. Usually it's +1 over. You can see out of 20 charges thrown, it was +1 kernel over, and I contribute that to the shape of the powder. It has a hard time trickling in just one piece of kernel, or one kernel at a time, and so sometimes two fall. And then if you look at number 8, it was actually a negative kernel on that. So to give you an idea, it takes 4 kernels on my scale, approximately 4 kernels to equal 0.1 grain. So the accuracy in this thing is very accurate, and for the type of shooting I do, which is target practicing, hunting, stuff like that, well within what I would be considered, or what I would consider being very accurate. I don't even know if you could tell the difference on your SDs or ES with 1 kernel, high or low, from the charge that you're actually trying to throw. But I'll leave that up to you to decide. But overall, I feel like this electronic reloading scale was super worth the money, and it's very accurate, and I've been enjoying it. Thank you for watching.